Hey, I think this is the earliest I have ever done this, whatever we're calling this, vlog. Um, it's 8:15 a.m. And it is Wednesday, May 6th. I've got my coffee, so it's not tea today. That's okay. The whole point of a daily cup of tea is about taking time for yourself and having a little bit of solitude, being introspective. To me, that's what it really means. So I hope you see that, and that's why I picked the name. I literally share a cup of tea sometimes with you, but it's more figurative in that we are sharing an experience or sharing a quiet moment with ourselves, whatever that is. So you can have a Coke Zero if you want. You can have a coffee if you want. I find that though, getting out a mug, taking the time to make something for yourself that you like, that's a treat, um, is a good way to just have a moment of the day for yourself. So mine's coffee because in the morning with my breakfast, I usually have a cup of coffee. It's the only coffee I have all day, really, unless I treat myself like on the weekend and go to Starbucks or something. But I don't really go there very often because they're a bit overpriced. Um, so I messed up, and yesterday I didn't do a video. I got busy with stuff, and I kept saying, "Oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later." No, because I ended up going on a hike with my son after work stuff, and then we got back, and my husband had smoked a brisket on the barbecue out back, and so then I got dinner going, and then after dinner, I played Animal Crossing, and then I went to bed. I was actually laying in bed last night, when you're trying to go to sleep, and I was like, I forgot to record my daily video. What the heck? So, and I was like, well, I could get up right now and do it. And I'm like, nah, I'll just do it tomorrow and just do an extra good job or something. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to make up for it today. We'll try though. It's like this side of my face is dark because of that. I was hoping my lamp would help with that, but I guess not. I need to like invest in one of those fancy ring lights, huh? No, you don't really want to see everything going on with this right now. And I think adding better lighting would really help you see that. So let's not. Today's shirt, if you recognize it, send me a message. What's it from? It says roast beef, and it has a cow laying out in the sun getting a suntan. Roast beef. Okay. So you're going to get a 2-for-1 special today, I guess. I have not only my 14,000 things to be happy about, but also a poem to share today with you guys. Sorry, my husband was coming in the door. He's out doing a class online or something. So on the road, and I paid attention. There he goes. There he goes. Maybe I'll go somewhere else since he's coming in here and I'm live. This is what it's really like when you're on lockdown. Changing rooms. Apparently he needs to get ready. He was signaling to me that he needed the room somehow, but didn't tell me. So, because he was out here in the living room while I got set up in the bedroom. I'll be nice. I won't say anything. I won't complain. But now I gotta go get the rest of my stuff. So hang tight.
Hey, Mom.
What?
Want to come down and see what I helped you with in the animal
No, I'm live streaming right now. Do you You want to come say hi?
Yeah.
Isaac's going to come say hi. Ugh. And say hi? Or are you just going to stare at the screen? There's people that watch these. Not very many, but enough that it matters. Okay, go do your thing. We're going to do your schoolwork when I'm done with this. He just wants to play video games all day. Sound familiar, guys? Okay, go. 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 All right. That was awkward. So I was originally in my room because my husband's doing some training online, and so he was out here listening to the webinar or whatever. So I got set up in my room, and then he comes waltzing in right after I get set up. So anyway, that's life. I won't get too angry, but it is frustrating. Because like if he would have told me he wanted to be in our bedroom to do his stuff, then that would have been fine. All right. So I was saying I have a 2-for-1 today. I'm sharing from this, but I also have a poem for the day that I'm going to do. So be prepared for that because I haven't done that in a while. We're supposed to have a meeting today. All of the teachers have a meeting with administration today. We had a lot of questions about the grading information that came out from the district. We feel, a lot of us, that it's very unclear of how grades are going to work, and we're not sure how much they're trying to give us some power over. I feel like my face is like half light and half dark there. Maybe that's a little bit better. So anyway, if you've read that thing at all, it isn't very clear. It's like, what do I do if a kid says, they had an A going into this closure, but they choose not to do anything between now and June? What grade do they get? Do they get an incomplete because they didn't complete those standards that we're teaching from here to the end of the school year? Or do they just get to keep their A because these grades are not like normal grades? And for improving grades, what does that look like? They had some weird vague language, like for an A rating, it had to do with mostly completed work, whereas a B mentioned something about at least half, and then a C mentioned some of the work, or if there's extenuating circumstances. So we know there are no D's or F's. That's pretty clear. That I would assume if a kid had a D or F going into this and doesn't do anything from here to the end, that they're going to get an incomplete. I mean, that's pretty obvious, and that makes a lot of sense. It means that they can later do things to prove that they know the material and can do those things later. And there's a list of things in that information from the district about that, that included things like next year, the score that they get in their continued coursework. But I don't know what else. It's kind of a weird thing. So we've been asking for more answers because we're like, okay, well, what do we do with kids that already had an A, B, or C? And if they can maintain their grade without doing any work, then they're honestly probably not going to do it. So what's the point of all this? Is it just to get those kids who had not the best grades to the grade that they want? Is that the point? But then it's suddenly like, well, if this work that we're doing right now between now and the end is a little bit easier and not as challenging as what we normally do, is that really fair to the kids that did A quality work, that another kid can come along and do this easier work and raise their grade? I don't know. There's lots of questions there. And I know there's issues of equity and wanting to make it so kids can continue to learn and grow, but also recover their grades. There's also this discussion of doing no harm. And some people are interpreting that almost like they're saying like an incomplete is doing harm, which I don't agree with. To me, that's why they got rid of F's, is because the F was the harm, meaning you have to redo the class to get the credit. Whereas an incomplete means there's ways to make up for it later. So that's really not doing harm. Kids still have a chance to get that grade back. So that's been a bit frustrating. Today I'm supposed to have a meeting though, a brief one, before I work with my grade level team members on some stuff. So I'll be interested to see if they have any answers or not. I'm with how slow things have been going. I don't know. So I'm just going to continue to mark things in the grade book in the miscellaneous category until I get more direction for grading, because I don't know how to improve your grades with what they've given me unless they just want me to use my gut instinct. But then that's kind of hard for you guys, because then you're like, well, I don't know how it's improving my grades. So those types of decisions have to be made. And some of that's with my grade level team. So I'm hoping today that they give us some more guidance and that we're able to make some decisions today. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that either. So you're going to notice a couple of things in the grade book. You're going to notice each week there's at least one assignment that's due, usually by Thursday or Friday. For sophomores, for sure, it's Thursdays we're trying to stick with. Once in a while, there's a discussion component, and that's really hard to do as far as due dates. So it might be due Friday in the grade book, but you have to post by Thursday and reply by Friday. That's pretty common. Or the replies come later and you have over the weekend to do the reply, because we want you engaging with each other a little bit more. It makes it more interesting and you can see a variety of ideas, and that's really powerful. So but for the most part, you'll get the email message from me, or you'll see it on Canvas by Sunday or Monday. Well, I'll email it out usually by Sunday, if the latest Monday morning. It won't be available till Monday morning because I have it set on a timer thing on Canvas that says, here's when the assignment's available, here's when it's due, and it closes out. So those are things that I set so you make sure you're staying on top of it each week. So we really have, what we've planned for 10th graders is really 6 weeks of work with argument. And so that's what we're going through. And so you can count on having at least, my son just made a paper airplane out of a napkin and threw it. He's probably going to leave it there for me to clean up later, but then I'm going to have to get mad at him and make him come clean it up, right? Yeah. Yeah. He's giggling to himself. Anyway, so that's how 10th graders will work. AP, we're really focusing on getting you ready for the exam. I know the exams start next week for all the classes. Ours isn't until the 20th, so we've got 2 weeks from today until the exam. So we'll probably finish up this week's, which this week's is looking at one more student example of a good essay, just to reiterate, what type of thing you need to be able to do with your writing. We really wanted to remind you of that and have you engage in a conversation about that writing. So that's why Mr. Weeks and I did that. Then we will probably focus a little bit more on having you guys do the demos or getting ready to actually log in for the exam. You have to log in 30 minutes early before our testing time, which is 11 a.m. on the 20th. So you need to be logging in at 10:30 to make sure you have plenty of time to get into the portal and resolve any issues with your computer. So that's kind of where we're heading. For those that are not taking the exam, we'll have something else different for that. But we don't want to overload those taking the exam with other stuff when you have exams for other classes going on as well. We're aware of that. So Mr. Weeks and I are working on it. After the exam, we're going to do another unit, a mini unit, I should say, for AP, where we're going to be doing a study of a book really quickly that you'll be able to access online. So be looking forward to that will be our additional work. We are looking, though, still for guidance on grading. So that's a big headache. All right. I think that's it. Grading this week. Meeting. Tomorrow I'm meeting with 5th and 6th period. So remember, those meetings are optional. They're really a Q&A. I'm trying to do my stuff asynchronous, which means that we don't all have to do it at the same time, that you can figure out when during the week you want to work on your stuff for class. To me, that just seems to work better with people's schedules. And so I'm using those Teams meetings really as optional get togethers to talk about the assignments for the week, anything about especially AP exams coming up. But 10th graders, I had a good chunk that showed up on Monday. There were 8 for that class. And I think for AP, there were 13 of you for first period. And then maybe a little bit more, maybe 14. It was something good. But then yesterday for fourth period, I only had 3 kids show up. 3 out of almost 30 kids. That was pretty low, but it's optional, so whatever. Those meetings count for your attendance for the week. So if you are there, I just mark that I've had contact with you. We had contact. Now, if you just show up for 2.5 seconds and leave, I may not see that. So you do need to be there for a substantial amount of time. And I record those sessions, so I also have record of it. So if you say you were there, I can go back and look. But I can also look at the list when we're in the meeting and see who's there. So that's another thing. What else? Fridays are really kind of a day off for you guys. The only thing that you would have from me really is a response to other people's work. So make sure you do that if I give you a deadline for a Friday. But otherwise, it should be a day for me to do more planning for the next week, get my emails ready that are going to get sent out for next week's work, get all that posted, get that finalized, and also input my attendance for the week and put in any grades once, of course, we figure out grading. Don't get me started on that again. All right. Isaac was playing Breath of the Wild last night. That's the other reason I got distracted. And he's playing in master mode now because he's that good. I haven't tried master mode yet. He and his dad are both trying it out on their own logins. And he last night was fighting a Lionel, trying to, in master mode. And Isaac's usually pretty, he can kill a Lionel pretty fast in the regular version, right? How long does it take you? 2 minutes?
Between 1 and 10 minutes.
Between 1 and 10 minutes. It's a pretty big range. Last night, he couldn't kill it right away. We finally figured out the trick to it at the end, right?
Shooting bomb arrows.
Shooting bomb arrows down on it. You gotta use Mipha's Grace, right? No, Rivali's Gale. Got to use Rivali's Gale that shoots you up in the sky, and then you got to use your little paraglider to stay up there, and then you've got to shoot as many bomb arrows down on it as you can, because what happens in Master Mode, if you've never played it in Breath of the Wild, we're talking Zelda, did I say that? What happens in Master Mode is the creatures regenerate, right away. They start to get their energy back as you're fighting them.
It's not just that. They're more aggressive.
And they're higher level ones too. So it's not like
there's gold ones.
Yeah, there's gold ones, more gold ones, and the white ones. And so they're much more difficult creatures in the first place. But then on top of that, they regenerate as you're fighting them. So if you are not using the highest level weapon or whatever, and you're not doing it fast enough, it will just be a continuous you fighting this thing that keeps getting all of its energy back. So, no, we don't need any more explanation, dude. We're good. I need to move on. He wants to now talk about it. He's over there eating cereal. Okay, so the poem I have for today is by Margarita Engel, and I get it from poetryfoundation.org. They're one of my favorite websites to go to because they don't have a bunch of pop-up ads. They don't have ads embedded at all. They also have a poem of the day feature, and I've shared stuff from them with you before. They have famous poets here that are listed, and you can search by topic, you can search by poet. It's pretty cool. I really like their website. So this one is called Tula, and then it has an alternate title, which oftentimes poetry is named If the poet does not give it a name, it's often the first line of the poem becomes the title, and that's what we refer to it as, even though the poet themselves did not give it a title. So the alternative title for this one is Books Are Door-Shaped. Books are door-shaped portals, carrying me across oceans and centuries, helping me feel less alone. But my mother believes that girls who read too much are unladylike and ugly. So my father's books are locked in a clear glass cabinet. I gaze at enticing covers and mysterious titles, but I am rarely permitted to touch the enchantment of words. Poems, stories, plays, all are forbidden. Girls are not supposed to think, but as soon as my eager mind begins to race, free thoughts rush in to replace the trapped ones. I imagine distant times and faraway places, ghosts, vampires, ancient warriors. Fantasy moves into the tangled maze of lonely confusion. Secretly, I open an invisible book in my mind, and I step through its magical door shape into a universe of dangerous villains and breathtaking heroes. Many of the heroes are men and boys, but some are girls, so tall, strong, and clever that they rescue other children from monsters. All right, that's the poem. I thought that was a pretty cool one. Of course, I love books. My kids are here trying to have breakfast, but whatever.
I waited until you're done.
I waited until you're done. Yeah, I'm live right now, so they can hear you. Cool. All right, I have to remind them because they act like it's just whatever. All right, so our last thing in today is we're going to see if this is something that makes me happy or makes me angry or makes me laugh. That seems to be the three responses. Frustrates, maybe the fourth one is frustrates me. Okay, this page, I'm going to go at the bottom here. Thin pretzels. I do like a good pretzel. Like the soft pretzels are good, but I don't think that's what this is about. This is about the ones you buy in the bag in the chip aisle. The thin, really thin ones. Those are good because they snap really easily. Yeah, I'm pleased with that one. I don't know if that makes me like euphoric or anything, but makes me happy. Nothing like a good pretzel. All right. That's it for today. Hopefully I made up for missing yesterday. Probably not. Oh well, what are you going to do about it? I can't time travel. If I did, I'd be doing something more than going back and recording a video. That's for sure. So have a lovely day. Do your work, do your assignment for the week, get it submitted, and I will see you tomorrow.